So you grew up in Mumbai.
Yes.
Tell us a bit about your education, your parents.
See, in fact, I am born in Mumbai, and all my school education, college education, everything within Mumbai. Uh, I have taken primary and secondary school education in Urdu medium school in Mumbai, Anjuman Islam. Thereafter, I did my graduation from National College, Bandra, in economics and political science. And then I joined law and completed my law course uh, in Government Law College, Churchgate, under Bombay University. And in the year 1973, I enrolled myself at the bar.
Okay, so tell us a bit about Government Law College at that time.
Yeah, Government Law College was one of the best colleges, of course, and in fact, even today it stands, at number one, not only in Mumbai but almost in Maharashtra. And during our days, I had the privilege of being the batchmate of such stalwarts as Ghulam Vahanvati, the present Attorney General of India. In fact, we were the benchmate. We used to be in the same class, same division, and same bench. And then also I recall my classmate was present Supreme Court Judge, His Lordship Justice Hemant Gokhale, then the ex-Chief Justice of Delhi High Court, Justice Ajit Shah. These were all my classmates during the college days. But after I joined practice and started working for a few years, then I came in contact with a giant in legal and judicial field, Justice B.R. Krishna Iyer. And in fact, I have been his disciple, I have been his student. And I am proud to say that he treated me as a son. And publicly he had made an announcement that Majeed is my son, which of course was a great, great honor and privilege. And it was because of his association over the years that I could gain a lot as far as criminal law is concerned.
Yes, sir. We spoke to Mr. Krishna Iyer, Justice Krishna Iyer, about 2 months ago, and it explained to us how, in fact, he was primarily a trial lawyer, and after that.
But if you had given my reference to Justice Krishna Iyer, he would have been enlightened to tell you about me. But well, perhaps he did not know at that point of time. But I must tell you that I am very close to Justice Krishna Iyer as a part of his family for the past 35 years now. Since he relinquished his office in the year 1980, for the last 30 years, we are associated. And just I spoke to him a couple of days earlier, and we are in touch with each other. And he has written to me several letters during the last 3 decades, which are, as a matter of fact, treasure for me.
Okay, sir. So what do you and Justice Krishna Iyer talk about these days?
No, Justice Krishna Iyer is a great humanist, and an extraordinary person. And I have been, in fact, telling him, because now today he is 95, I have been telling him that if Almighty had to have any exception to the natural deterioration of the process of existence, human existence, then it should be you. I said that you should be an exception. We need you all the time. You may cross 100, but still we would need you. And I must tell you that about this great man, the current Chief Justice of India some years ago, who happened to meet us at the airport, myself and Justice Krishna Iyer were sitting there. The current Chief Justice of India told us, and rather told me about Justice Krishna Iyer, that years have passed since this great jurist has relinquished his office from Supreme Court, but not a day passes when his name does not echo in the corridors of Supreme Court. It's a tribute. And I would go even further and say that eternally Justice Krishna Iyer and his name would always be remembered and discussed. And I think our younger generation would also be inspired and pick up a few lessons from this great man, a great humanist, a great jurist, and a person whose heart bleeds for those who are deprived of justice.
Tell us how you came into contact with Justice Krishna Iyer.
I had arranged one lecture for him. In fact, first when I met him in Mumbai, he had come to some SNDT college. I am talking of soon after his relinquishing office in the early 80s. I asked him, some people were asking him some questions. Even I asked him some question. I don't exactly remember what my question was, but it's indeed very interesting in the sense that it attracted him so much that he held my hand and he never let me disappear in the crowd till he convinced me on the answer, which he could not immediately. So he told me that, Majeed, I must answer this question to you, And he took me and said that, can you accompany me to the airport on his way from Nariman, from Churchgate to Santa Cruz. I sat with him, and that is how I became close to him. I discussed with him, and he said, you must contact me. Then I took his number, and thereafter, and another advantage was that my wife happens to be from the same place, Ernakulam, where Justice Krishna Iyer is. So I used to go to him very often. I used to go to Kerala High Court. I used to walk with him for several days. Whenever I used to be in Ernakulam, I always used to make evening walk with him. And through him, I met so many judges, so many, top bureaucrats and all whatnot. He's a great man. I have no words to explain the potentials of Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer. No language would be adequate. No dictionary can even define, because Justice Krishna Iyer's judgments are pearls, not only within India, but whenever I used to travel to London and other countries, I used to get tremendous admiration for this man from everywhere, even from the topmost Queen's Counsel in London.
So your rise in the profession in Bombay was very, very quick, very fast. You told me that you had to hire a junior 6 months into your practice. Tell us about your first few.
Yeah, that's right. You see, in fact, from the beginning itself, I was very keen. As a matter of fact, when I finished my law, I had very tempting jobs on hand. In the year 1973, a job even in London. I was through. I passed the exams and the interview and every selection, and almost I was to get the appointment letter. When I turned it down, somebody within me said that, I think you are not meant for any of these jobs. And I was getting good jobs in the banks and all other places like. But then my people in the house, because we were not very well, economically well placed people. So they were keen. They were saying that, what is there in the advocacy? Lawyers are begging, lawyers are running on the streets in Esplanade Court here and all that. In Mumbai was a very pathetic scene. Why do you want to invite this, and why not you take over some excellent job which is on your way? But something within me, my conscience said that no, I am not carved out for this kind of job. I think I should be successful as a lawyer. That was, the urge within me. And I used to ask the question, to myself, even the day one, that if anybody else can be there, why can't be I? If anybody else can do it, why can I not do it? So I just one day went, got myself enrolled, although there was resistance and non-cooperation from my family members, my mother, my brother, my sisters. And then when I joined the bar, I had, kind of such urge within me, such fire within me, that I must come up. I have to. It's a challenge for me. And believe me, in a matter of few months, I attracted work, and before even I could complete a year, about 7 or 8 months or so, I needed a junior. And then immediately, I did not join anybody's chamber. I did not need anybody's guidance. I was never assistant to anyone. But then within a matter of a couple of years, I made a mark. I could buy a car, and I had an office, and then gradually, looking back. But you see, the secret, I believe, which I am sharing with you today, of success is there are 2 or 3 very fundamental things. Number one is that you must be a person of an average intelligence, and your average intelligence can get sharpened with your constant work. With your honest hard work, your intelligence can always become higher, better. So that is one thing. You must have good intelligence, average intelligence. Then what you call is industry. You must work hard. Don't take things lightly. Every time when you take a brief or take a cause, then you must know that you have to put in your best. It's your challenge, it's your test. If you work hard, there is no reason why you should not succeed. And then the most importantly for a lawyer to succeed, in my view, is integrity. Be honest to your cause. When you take up somebody's cause, howsoever poor that person be, be faithful to him, be loyal to him, be honest to him. When you have taken up a cause, nothing should tempt you. You must stand for the person who expects you to deliver. Assist him in getting justice by the process of law. So these are the things, and I have always been very, very committed to my briefs. I have never taken anything casually, and I always took everything as a challenge. And therefore, there was no reason and no difficulty for me to achieve success, and success just followed me, as a matter of fact.
Tell us about the first few cases. your clients?
Yes, the first among my cases which I recall, a full dress trial, was a case of fatal driving. It was in the year 1973-74. It is a difficult case to protect a person who kills somebody whilst driving, because it's a very technical and very ticklish kind of a point. But then I successfully defended him. He was acquitted, so it was lauded by several people. Some senior lawyers told me, Mr. Memon, it's a great achievement. This is the first trial, and then you have succeeded in 304A. But then that was too small a thing for me. But then thereafter I was looking for challenges. As a matter of fact, even as a student, I must tell you, it was God's gift to me that I used to, when I was in first year of my college, I was so restless. I wanted that, why not sixth year? Straight away I will appear for MA exams. I went to the university, I told one of my professors, permit me to take up the papers of MA and I'll pass, I am sure. He said, no, it can't be done. You have to go through graduation. So I was ahead of my time all throughout from my student days. And in profession also I had left behind, those who had put in 10-15 years practice in my first or second year of my profession. So these were, very distinct qualities, and I must say, I must thank God, because I had master in vocabulary, and great contribution to it is the association of Justice Krishna here. I must give him full marks. That I used to read him, I used to be with him, I used to discuss with him. So it improved my legal language, English language, so much so that I could be very impressive in my submissions to the courts. And when a lawyer, his presentation is good and his presentation is penetrating into the mind of the judge, there is no reason why he should not succeed, and I am an example for that.
So, any other memorable cases?
Well, a number of cases I have.
Towards the beginning?
Yes, towards the beginning, naturally. Then thereafter I used to get lot of miscellaneous work, small. I used to practice in magistrates court for first few years. Then I rose to sessions court. Then sessions trial I have conducted hundreds in all types of cases of murder, rape, dacoity, robbery, all kinds of cases. And vast experience as a trial court lawyer. And I must tell you a secret now for young lawyers, that if you want to become a lawyer of substance, you should be a trial court lawyer, because it is the trial which teaches you. That's a school for a lawyer. If you just simply jump and become an appeal court lawyer and argue on appeal, howsoever effective or successful way you may do it, but then you will not have that substance or that knowledge, that wisdom, that experience which you would be requiring as a trial court lawyer. So to be a trial court lawyer is something more than a non-trial court lawyer. We are from the basics. We have conducted innumerable trials of all types and all shades. And if you look at our justice system, even Supreme Court judges have time and again emphasized this need by telling the magistrates and session judges who conduct trials. Supreme Court judges don't conduct trials ordinarily, nor do High Court judges. The Supreme Court judges tell the magistrates, don't surrender your glory to the appellate courts, because you are a privileged person, because you have the benefit of conducting trial, observing the demeanor of witnesses, recording evidence, which is the very, very soul of the entire justice system. In the appeal courts, they only examine what the evidence is. In the Supreme Court, the highest judges, powerful, most powerful judicial mind, but they only consider what is there on record. They don't have that benefit of looking at the witnesses into their eyes and trying to, in fact, get to the bottom of truth, because we all believe today, whole nation believes, and the whole entire society believes, that what is criminal justice? Criminal justice can be delivered only if truth is identified. If for delivering justice, you will have to identify truth, and the process of identification of truth is the trial. So unless you have the benefit of trial, you will simply be looking around the papers and then basing your judgments one way or the other. You may be very wise, you may be very competent, you may be very well experienced in law and justice, yet if you don't have the benefit of going through the details of trials and the process of trial, probably you are lacking that.